5. And quietly she pulls up the socks for her next performance. Now Maria Olaru.
And she has got a really fantastic element planned in the middle of her balance beam routine. She'll do a full twisting back somersault, very tricky.
And the interesting thing is we just saw her at the American Cup a month ago. She didn't have the skill. I asked her coach, why didn't she do it at American Cup? And he said, what? She didn't do it? Of course, Octavian wasn't there.
Right here. Very critical out of a back handspring.
Oh, stuck everyone in practice, too. What is going on?
Yeah, you know, we have been here all week, and they work out twice a day. She does it a number of times in a row. That is the first time I have seen her be even just a little bit off balance.
Hey guys, let's not forget what may be going on is that this Romanian team may have reached its emotional limit. A long trip, many weeks at the American Cup. One of the male gymnasts watched his bicep rip in half. Then they went to Venezuela, watched a member of their delegation get shot outside the team bus. He's hospitalized and partially paralyzed, as we told you earlier. Then here, a hyperextended knee. A young gymnast is thrown into the mix, and these are stories that get carried back with the team to the hotel. They sit over breakfast, lunch, and dinner and talk about it. They sit in practice and talk about it, and eventually the distractions may become too great.
Short on the dismount as well. Serious problems in this routine. You know, Octavian Bellu said she really wants to be a big-time gymnast. She's a hometown, homegrown Deva girl. Grew up with Lavinia Milosevic, Gina Gojen, two of the country's greats. And, you know, in order to be big-time, you just can't afford big mistakes.
So Bellu walked by, not a word.
None at all, and all because of this right here. He's got to be just as frustrated as the athlete, because he knows she can do this no problem.
Probably one of the best full twists I've seen in the world because of her height. And remember, she's a really tall gymnast. Looks beautiful up there, but have to stick.
What has happened here as Olaru falls below 9 is that the United States has built up a lead that is just short of 2 full points. That's a potential blowout in progress here in Knoxville. Meanwhile, the Chinese remain in 3rd place. This is the 1998 International Team Championships. This is NBC Sports coverage of the 1998 International Team Gymnastics Championships. The United States with an extremely comfortable lead as we get our first look at Kendall Beck. On the vault, she recorded a 9.475. She's from San Antonio, Texas. I'm Al Troutwig along with Elfie Schlegel and gold medalist Tim Daggett. Later we'll hear from Beth Ruyak as well.
Well, this is really Kendall's event. She won the national championships last year on the balance beam. She said she was very, very surprised since it was her first year as a senior athlete.
It's the same element we just saw Olaru fall on right here. Hangs on. Very nicely done.
What they proudly say about this 16-year-old is that she's the first native San Antonioan, that's correct, to make it to the World Championships.
She said the championships taught her a lot. First year as a senior, being on the world team. She had to be aggressive out there, but big mistake. That's a 0.5 deduction for that fall. It's amazing. She just nails a full twisting salto. That skill there, she's probably done 100 times and had no problems with. A lot of twisting action in this balance beam routine.
You know, it's funny. Every team has its own characteristic. There are teams that come from behind, and there are teams that just can't handle prosperity. This is the first American in this 3rd rotation with a big lead. All sorts of room to make mistakes, and Kendall Beck has made a bunch here. Another 10th there. The Romanians missed a big chance earlier. Would they be able to fail to take advantage again?
Well, all of these U.S. coaches said before the competition began that, yeah, we're a little bit nervous about beam. You can never know what's going to happen, and They were a little bit unsure, no doubt.
16-year-old Nicoletta Onel, our first look at her in the competition. She's been on bars and beam and had a sprained ankle so bad here in Knoxville it brought her to tears. And I'm really surprised that she'll go into floor exercise without even having the ankle wrapped.
Nicoletta competed last year as a junior at the international team competition. Bellu said she's basically here as a team player, and I asked him about her future with Romanian gymnastics. He said, no chance.
He's tough.
That's one thing I like about Octavian Bellu is you ask him these questions and he will give you a straight answer. You know exactly where he stands.
No cliches from him.
I think she just actually stepped.
Hey, the flag went up. The flag went up.
Unbelievable. That is such a no-no in gymnastics.
She just slid her heel back. And normally you're used to seeing the gymnast just miss by about a ½ an inch. She went over by about that much.
You step onto that white and it's a 1/10 of a point deduction. That was just an error that should not happen in an exercise. She has plenty of room. She wants to be close to the edge, obviously, but...
And especially when we get to Olympic competitions, sometimes it comes down to tenths, and those are just devastating tenths to take.
Watch her heel.
Right there, she is definitely on the white, and there is a judge that their only responsibility is to raise the flag, and it was raised.
Low score, 9.15, and now Bellu goes over to the judge who raised the flag.
For the sec. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, he's not going to fight her.
He took that well.
This time.
Kendall Beck's score, 9.025. Remember the problems she had on the balance beam. Ling from China, 9.45 beam, 9.275 floor. Fell on the beam, thus the black eye, as we mentioned.
Her biggest challenge, her coach says, is that she needs more experience in the bigger competitions. One and a half twisting vault. The value of this particular vault is a 9.8.
Which means that's the highest score, if she hit it perfect, that she could get.
Well, just put it in perspective. There are absolutely no women in this competition that are performing vaults worth a 10.0. This is a tough vault because of its blind landing, but 9.8, that's the cap.
However, when the Olympics come about, which is what everything is focused and driven towards, what will it be like then?
Well, the vaults are valued out of a certain score, but we do expect those vying for a gold medal, especially in the individual competition, to at least tempt one vault that's out of a 10.0. It's going to be tough, though.
Women's vaulting is probably the most difficult event to get that 10.0 start value. The athletes have seemed to adjusted well on uneven bars and balance beam, but vaulting has lagged behind just a little bit. She'll do the same vault, just the landing.
They just can't stick one.
Well, you know, that's much safer to be a little bit over on that vault. If you are, you know you're not going to sit down and have that huge deduction.
Back in Knoxville, Tennessee, the Chinese team has been in third here in the third rotation, and their expression hasn't changed from start to where we are right now. The American team has survived a stumble by Vanessa Atler on the uneven